Hey y'all, so on today's video I have a couple things that I need to get done. I just got done watering and it's pretty hot out, but it's not near as hot as it has been. We've had a cool front come through and we've gotten some rain with it. So we've been below 90 for like the last 5 or 6 days, which is really something special at the end of July here in Oklahoma. So very excited about that, but this is the last day under 90 degrees. So I wanted to get all of my watering done today and I need to get some perennials moved. So up in the front, I have some perennials that just need to be moved. When we first moved in, I planted those perennials there. I didn't test the sprinkler system up there. They don't get enough water for what they are. They're Japanese painted ferns and they just require much more water than what they're getting, and I'm trying not to go out there and hand supplement watering in the flower beds every single day. And so I'm just going to go ahead and move those, because what else I have noticed is that they are getting some unintended evening sun. Like, we have this weird 1 to 2 hours of sunlight that when it gets just below our tree, but there's a gap in our neighbor's tree and it just shines right on where those Japanese painted ferns are, and they're just not doing well. You'll see when I go up there to show you them, you're probably going to be like, these things are goners, don't even mess with them. But they probably will come back. Ferns tend to do that. I'm going to dig them up. I'm going to dig the root ball completely up. And I actually have one that I dug up previously, probably a couple months ago, that I've had in a pot and it's just been sitting on the patio and it needs to get planted. So I'm going to dig those up and we are going to plant those underneath this back window box back here, and I'll show you that in just a second. And then the other two things that I need to transplant are some birthday party sedum. I dug these up about a week ago. I just noticed that they were getting way too much water for where they were. There was sprinkler heads that were right on them and they were just getting way too much water. They were actually starting to wilt. So as many of you know, sedum don't like a lot of water. They don't like a ton of fertilizer. So what I did, we were expected to get some rain and they were already looking really rough and they were already looking pretty soggy. So I went ahead and dug those up and I just laid them on top of the trash can to let them dry out a little bit. And they've been sitting there for about a week now and they're actually thriving. They're doing really well. They have some spots that had started to rot, but they're sending some offshoots from those. So I was going to cut those back, but I don't think that I'm going to cut them back. I think they're the offshoots from the stems right above where they started to rot. They are sending off some roots as well. So I'm just going to put them back in the ground in a better spot and let them do their thing. And really, I think that's it for this video. Of course, I'll have the floral video for you this week, but I really this is something that I needed to get done. So why don't I just flip my camera around and I will show you where I'm going to plant the painted ferns. This is a spot that when I first planted this, I was not super happy with it. I was just kind of like, I like it, but I don't love it kind of thing. And then as I switched out all the boxwoods to some uniform winter gem boxwoods that were all the same size, all the same profile, that I will allow to grow up into a hedge that I will square off, I really just started to like it, and it's one of my favorite spots actually. And so when I flip around my camera, I'll show you that, and then we'll go up front and we'll try to find a spot for those birthday party sedum. The birthday party sedum is fantastic. It's one of my favorite sedum. It's kind of a border sedum and it stays on the lower the smaller size, and it has these really pretty lime green leaves and the blooms are just awesome, you know, that magenta pink purple color that I like so much. But I digress. Let me flip my camera around and I will show you where we're going to plant the painted Japanese ferns. Okay, so this is the spot that I was referring to. Please excuse the hose. I've been watering and I'll have to keep it out to water these painted ferns in. But this is starting to look really good and I'm really happy with the way that it's feeling out. We have some halcyon hostas back there, which if you've followed along for some time, you know I did some mass plantings of those in some other beds. There's some coral bells, some heuchera, the purple and the lime green. These blade looking grasses right here, those are hardy orchids. Those are really pretty in the spring when they bloom. And I kind of like the uniqueness of the way their leaves look, and it just kind of adds a little bit of texture, I think. Holly ferns back here right in front of the boxwoods, and then we have some variegated ajuga here that I think I planted like 6 or 7 small plants, and it is just gone crazy back here. It really loves its spot. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to tuck in some of the painted ferns. I'll have to see exactly how many I have once I go up and dig those up out front. But I'm just gonna tuck them in some places because they will pull some of this variegation that you see in the ajuga. They'll pull some of the purple. They'll pull just some of those colors, the blues. Some of their fronds are a little bit blue, so I think it'll be a nice addition to this bed, and it's a great place for them. You can see that there's some afternoon sun right here, but it does get a little bit of afternoon sun through the trees over here, but not for long periods of time like it does in the front. So let me actually just go get one of the painted ferns that I've dug up previously, and I'll show you exactly what I'm referring to if you're not sure. Okay, and this is a painted Japanese fern so that you can see that the stems, this really isn't a great example. Maybe this is a little bit better. So you can see kind of that purple variegation on their stems. This has been in pretty deep shade over there, so I don't feel like this is the best example. Maybe this frond's a good example. But as their fronds age a little bit, they tend to get a little more kind of on that blue side, and the stem turns a little more purple. So these are a really easy plant to grow. Like any fern, they need some moisture. So we're just gonna tuck them in some spots up here, but first let's go dig up the ones in the front. And then here are the birthday party sedum that I was referring to. See how big these bud heads, the bloom heads are, and this really pretty green color. And then you can see here that some of them have started to rot, but you can see all of the new growth there. And then this one is a good example over here. Let me get this switched around. So this is a great example. You see this right here. It's rotted here at the base, but it is sending off new offshoots there, and then there are tiny little roots coming out. So I'm just going to leave these just as is, and we'll find a place to plant those up front. Here is a slightly better view of the birthday party sedum. Really pretty. The bloom heads are pretty awesome. They're pretty large. It's a great border sedum that doesn't get too large. And here are my super sad looking Japanese painted ferns right here. There is one right here. This stays pretty dry, and it's on a hill, so some of the water just kind of drains off, but they just don't do well here. They just get that really harsh afternoon sun that comes through and stays just for a little bit too long. You can see some of the scorch on those. These do a little bit better because they are right next to this sprinkler head, as is this one and this one. But honestly, I honestly might leave these three right here. They do decent. I might give those a shot. This will be, I planted them last fall, so they've made it through the winter once and they've come back. So why don't I give these three a chance, because I actually kind of like the way they look with the ajuga, and they obviously get enough water to do okay. I may supplement hand water them every now and then, but these seem to be doing okay. But these over here, I most definitely am going to dig up and get those transplanted in the back. So I guess total we'll have 4 to transplant back there, which will be perfect. This right here is just an eaten up columbine that I probably need to pull, so we'll do that. Okay, popped right up there. I'm trying not to take any ajuga. I don't want any of this ajuga back there, simply because I have the variegated variety back there. So we're gonna tuck that back in there and we'll move to the next fern. And you can see here that it does have some new fronds coming up. So I could have probably left it and it would have been okay, but it's just never gonna thrive right here in this location. So it's better off back in the back. Okay, got those out of the ground. Now let's go get the birthday party sedum and see where we want to put those really quick. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try to pop one right there and then pop one over here just to kind of flank that entrance, because like I said, it does stay on the drier side and it does get some decent afternoon sun, which probably won't happen for another couple of hours. I don't know what time it is right now. It's 4:06, so typically it's around 5:30 or 6 when that sun comes through here. So I think this will be a good spot for them that won't get overwatered. All right, I'm gonna get these two watered in and then we'll take the painted ferns and head to the back. Okay, so we got everything up in the front done. Now let's get these painted ferns back here in place. I will be using plant tone on these. You're probably wondering why I didn't use plant tone up there on the sedum. Sedum and some other varieties of plants that are similar to sedum, they just don't like a ton of fertilizer. So that is why I choose not to do that. But these ferns definitely will be getting some plant tone. And before I forget, go to the community tab on my page. We are getting a new roof. So we are waiting on some quotes for some material, whether we go back asphalt or maybe some faux slate or some faux wood shake. As much as I would love to have a wood shake on this house, and what was most definitely, yes, absolutely, a wood shake is what was on this house originally. And they're beautiful. It's hard to get entrances to cover them, and they are a fire hazard. So as much as I would love that, that's just not in the realm of possibilities. Also, they are, you know, somewhat prohibitively expensive. And so we are just waiting on some quote options for those. But in the meantime, go to the community tab on my YouTube page, go to the main page where you see videos, the videos tab, scroll over to the right and you'll see the community tab. I've posted some pictures on there for a poll, and I realized that those are pretty small pictures, but you kind of get the gist. We have like a slate color, we have a like a multi-brown color. Ooh, I put a green on there, and just a flat overall kind of chocolate color. So anyways, I think it would be fun to get everyone's opinion, and a lot of people have already voted slate. However, you can see back here in our trim is not black. It looks dark, it looks kind of like a charcoal color, but it is Urban Bronze by Sherwin-Williams, or a slight variation of that. And so up close, it's most definitely kind of a chocolate bronzy brownish color. So keep that in mind when trying to decide what color we should go with on the roof. Anyways, back to the regularly scheduled program. Let's get these painted ferns in place and planted. Okay, y'all, well, that is all that I have for this video. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe. It certainly helps out a lot, and we'll catch you in the next video.